Hey, what's up YouTube? This is your option here, coming at you with that sided in Spellbook discussion which I told you guys I was going to make. So I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this video, and I thought it'd be best if I just put at least what I consider the top 15 decks to look out for this format, in my opinion, and what to sort of side against them. I've kind of put them in order of what I believe is more threatening to least threatening, and I've not included Dragon Rulers because Dragon Rulers is a bit of a deck which no one's really too clear on how the deck is actually going to perform yet. But in my opinion, I don't really think that Dragon Rulers is going to be too much of a threat to Spellbooks, so I didn't actually put it here. Other decks like Lightsworn haven't got their support yet, so if you're playing on if you're playing in real life, then you might want to reconsider and not really make your side deck too much based too much on this video. But if you're playing on Dueling Network, for example, then you probably will want to take a lot of information from this video when you're building your side deck. I will be sort of going over the meta before Primal Origin hits, and I'll sort of discuss when I get to certain decks like Dolce, that's getting support with Dolce and Jelly. When I get to it, I'll sort of discuss like what to side against that. So to begin with, we've got Mermail, and I've got Mermail Abyss Megalo, which is sort of their key card here. And against Mermail, well, first of all, I'll give you a little bit of a background. So Mermail is a very explosive deck. It relies on discarding water monsters from their hand and triggering their effects. It's very difficult to stop because cards like Skill Drain aren't really too effective against the deck because, as I said before, most of their effects trigger in the graveyard, not in the field. Effects like Abyss Megalo, Abyss Tias, and I forgot his name, the big one with 2700 attack, it'll come back to me in a sec. I believe he tributes a water monster to discard a card. Oh, Abyss Lead, there we go. Those effects activate in the hand to special summon themselves, and the water monsters which they discard, which is normally Atlantean Dragoons, Mermail Abyss Guns, and then you've got other ones like Infantry and Marksmen. Those ones activate in the graveyard. So to counter that, decks which are really good against that tend to be decks like Maxi, because you have to reveal Megalo to special summon, you have to reveal TS, and Mermail is generally quite explosive. They've got Abyss Sphere, they also have Abyss Lind as well, that special summons, so Maxi is a decent card there. The only thing which you have to be careful of when you're siding Maxi against Mermail is that if you're playing Spellbooks, they might still try to go off on you if you haven't got too much back row, and this is probably because they know that you're not going to play Gauls, or you might not be playing Veiler, so they'll probably expect that you're just trying to gain a hand advantage so that you can come back next turn, and they might just go in on you and try to OTK you anyway, so Maxi might not be the best side. Other good side deck choices are Book of Eclipse. Book of Eclipse is really good against them. Even if they get to draw, you still get to just set all of their cards, and then come your turn, if you're playing the world build, you can summon the Temperance, use a Spellbook, summon the world, blow all of that out, so it's pretty good there. You could also side Dark Hole, again, this is sort of if you survive their sort of explosive play, then you could Dark Hole the field. Dimensional Fissure is an excellent card to side against Mermail, I'll definitely side it. The only bad thing about Dimensional Fissure is that it is continuous, and you have to activate it during your turn. So if they're not really going to lose any sort of card advantage, you're just going to wait until they draw that MST or a Dust Tornado or something. So Dimensional Fissure is more of a stall card, it's not really going to net you advantage really quickly as soon as you activate it. And it's funny that I just said that and I'm about to get to this card. This card is very underrated in my opinion. Its name is Forbidden Graveyard. I seem to be lagging a bit, there we go. Its effect is activate by discarding one card. Effects that activate in the graveyard this turn are negated. This is a really amazing effect in my opinion. Forbidden Graveyard pretty much wrecks Mermails, especially when they discard 2 for Abyss Megalo. If they go discard Dragoons, discard Marksman, special summon Abyss Megalo, you chain Forbidden Graveyard, you've already gone +0, the Mermail players lost 2 cards in their hand, and all they've got is an Abyss Megalo on the field, and that will be very devastating. It's not too effective against maybe TS, which is just discard 1, because they won't be going 2- there, or they probably won't go -all, you'll just be sort of shining them down for the turn. But Forbidden Graveyard against Megalo in particular is very, very amazing, and it's definitely worth siding. Also, what they like to do is that if you're playing Macrocosmos or Soul Drain, they like to still go for their play, and then if you want to flip up a Soul Drain or a Macrocosmos, they'll chain MST to it. So Forbidden Graveyard is really, really good because it's a quick play. It doesn't need to be on the field to resolve, so you can activate it and they can't chain MST and they've gone really minus. So Forbidden Graveyard is really, really good, especially if you're playing the world build, because the world build has a lot of dead draws and bad cards to draw like Temperance. You can also discard the Stoic, and obviously World of Prophecy, and there's also Spellbook Library of a Crescent. So Forbidden Graveyard has a lot of good fodder that you can discard when you want to activate it, so definitely consider Forbidden Graveyard. Kaiser Coliseum against Mermail is also a good option, but they can pop it quite easily. MST to counter Abysphere is okay. Soul Release, not too good. Shared Ride, very similar to Maxi, if not exactly the same, against Mermail, so it's sort of, I won't really cover it again, but it's basically the same reason behind Maxi. And Soul Release, as I said before, not too good. I think it rearranged itself. I'll just quickly go through these, which ones I think are actually good. Debunk is very, very good against Abyss Megalo, Abyss TS, effects to activate in the hand or the graveyard, so it pretty much hits everything. As I mentioned before, Skill Drain doesn't really affect the deck because most of the effects activate in the hand or the graveyard, so Debunk is rarely ever dead against them, and it negates their effect and removes it from play, so it's very, very useful. DNA Surgery is not too useful. Lion Prisoner Mirror also not too useful, so Mind Crush, very, very, very good card. You can hit Abyss Megalo, Abyss TS in your hands, especially when they search. If they search Diva and they're trying to OTK you can Mind Crush the Diva out of their hand, so Mind Crush is very, very good. Also, the Transmigration Prophecy, actually I'll go Soul Drain. Soul Drain is similar to Dimensional Fissure in what it does to counter Mermail, except that it's chainable, but do be aware that your opponent, the Mermail player, could have an MST to chain to it, and it won't be looking too good for you if they do. So going on to the Transmigration Prophecy is very, very good. If they again go for Megalo, discard, let's say Abyss Gun and Dragoons, you could just chain the Transmigration Prophecy. You can either return that Abyss Gun target or return Abyss Gun herself and return Dragoons, and they won't get their effects. So Mermail, in that aspect, they would have lost 2 cards because they would have gone to special summon from Abyss Gun, and they would have gone to search for Dragoons, so they would have gone 2 cards from that. And with your 1 card, which is the Transmigration Prophecy, you would have countered that. So you effectively kind of went +1. So the Transmigration Prophecy is definitely good in that aspect, especially since it recycles your Spellbook of Fate, the Grand Spellbook Tower, and Spellbook of Eternity, so it's rarely ever dead. You can use Trap Tricks, Trap Hole, Nightmare, because Abyss Megalo, Abyss TS, Abyss Pike, all of these cards have effects when they're normal or special summoned. Abyss Pike has an effect when it's normal summoned, but Megalo and TS have effects when they're special summoned to search, so you can Trap Tricks, Trap Hole, Nightmare them. Dust Tornado is okay against Mermail, because they might side an Imperial Iron Wall against you, so Dust Tornado is okay. Against Lightsworn, this one's going to be really, really quick. You can side Kaiku. Kaiku's not really too effective against them, because Lightsworn are going to get some support, and they're going to be really, really fast because of Raiden and Minerva. So Kaiku's not too good, but you can opt to side Kaiku if you want. Another good card against them is Effect Veiler. When they go for the Lumina play, discard Effect Veiler, negate it. Judgment Dragon, negate it, and just a lot of different things. Maxi is pretty good. Maxi is pretty bad, is what I mean. Most of their summons are inherent. Lightweight Daedalus, Lightweight Diablos. You've got Judgment Dragon, and you have what's that called? Lightweight Gearfried. Those are inherent special summons, so you can't chain Maxi to them. So Maxi is not looking too good in the Lightsworn matchup. Book of Eclipse is okay as well, but it's not really too good because they're going to drop their first Judgment Dragon, you're going to Book of Eclipse, and then they're just going to drop their second, so it's not really too good. Dimensional Fissure is excellent against them. As I said before, Forbidden Graveyard is so and so. It stops Wolf, it stops Minerva, and it stops a card which they they tend to run nowadays, which is Eclipse Wyvern. It stops that because I believe a lot of builds are running Eclipse Wyvern and Black Color Serpent in order to search Judgment Dragon, which sounds extremely scary. Being able to search a card like Judgment Dragon. Forbidden Graveyards can slow them down a bit, but it is kind of minus, so I wouldn't really consider it too much for the Lightsworn matchup. Kaiser Coliseum is okay. Soul Release is excellent cards against them, so is Big Burn. Chain Release is sort of so-so. I mean, if they flip a Raikou, you can chain this. Sorry, not Chain Release. Chain Disappearance. If they flip a Raikou, you can Chain Disappearance them or Chain Disappearance their Luminar. But Lightsworn are going to have so many names that Chain Disappearance isn't really looking too good against them. Light Imprisoning Mirror, this is the best card to side against them in my opinion. Whether you're going first or you're going second, Light Imprisoning Mirror strips them of their effects. They can't use Eclipse Wyvern, they can't use Wolf, they can't use Minerva, they can't use Raiden, they can't use Judgment Dragon, they can't use any of the Light Rays. They're completely just screwed to Light Imprisoning Mirror. If you can, especially if you're playing Spellbook, because Lightsworn isn't really too good for the matchup unless you draw a lot of back row. So if you can, definitely try to squeeze in 3 Light Imprisoning Mirror in your side deck, and that's just a tip from me. It basically just turns their Judgment Dragons into vanillas. It's excellent. Other cards, Mind Crush is okay because they like to use Eclipse Wyvern to search Judgment Dragon, and you can just go Mind Crush, take out the Judgment Dragon, and if they've got 2 in their hands, really good, very satisfying feeling. Apart from that, you've got Soul Drain, not really too good. The Transmigration Prophecy is pretty good when they mill really good cards, or if they try to use Monster Reincarnation, you can Transmigration Prophecy it back, so that's pretty good as well. Against Infernity, let's see here, Kaiku's pretty good to stop, I forgot that card's name, Patroller or something. You banish it from the graveyard to special summon a Fiend type monster from your hand, so Kaiku stops that. So Kaiku's pretty okay, and also you can banish their Necromancers or Archfiends in their graveyard and stuff, so it's pretty good there. High Priestess is kind of okay, like if they've got a whole bunch of back row, like the Infernity barrier, you can reveal High Priestess. If they want to barrier that, that's fine. You've still got the 3 spellbooks which you revealed, so it's sort of a 1-for-1, even though they did get that barrier for free. It's still kind of okay. Other cards like Breaker is pretty good because what Infernity like to do is to set everything. They might set an instant fusion and cards which they can't chain, like Dark Hole, and you can summon Breaker and start picking them off, so it's not so bad. Veiler and Maxi, very good against Infernity. I definitely recommend siding it if you have space. Book of Eclipse is okay as well. Dark Hole's okay. Void Ogre will negate it if they haven't got any cards in their hand, and they can always use Infernity Barrier, but it's okay in my opinion. Dimensional Fissure's okay as well if you're going first and they haven't got MST. Forbidden Graveyards also sort of okay. Kaiser Coliseum's excellent, definitely a good option. MST is okay as well for picking off barriers. Soul Release is also pretty good, and so is Big Burn. Getting to other cards which I feel like are probably quite effective against Infernity, definitely Mind Crush. Mind Crush is very excellent against Infernity. Once they reveal Archfiends, you can Mind Crush it, and they can't special summon it, and they're sorry, they're pretty much out at that point. There's also other cards like Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. Also, another thing which I'm just quickly going to touch upon, Light Imprisoning Mirror and Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. If you're playing that Kaiku and Breaker beatdown deck, the Spellbook variant which I posted, then you can side Light Imprisoning Mirror very easily because you don't play any light monsters, and you're just playing 3 Breaker, 3 Kaiku and 3 Magician. But obviously you can't side Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and on the flip side to that, if you're playing a World or Priestess build, you can't really side Light Imprisoning Mirror unless you side these cards out, but you can easily side a Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. So that's something to consider. So I just talked about Mind Crush with Archfiends, so moving on after that, we've got the Transmigration Prophecy, which is also very good against them for returning those launcher targets. Dark World, very difficult matchup. You're probably going to be losing game 1 against Dark World, so you really need to win game 2 and game 3. Kaiku's really good against them, against Dark World. When they EEV, it's really sweet to sort of be able to respond with a Kaiku and banish those Graphers and just slowly beat them down from there. Other cards like Veiler is not really too good. Maxi is also not too good as well. But you've got cards like Dimensional Fissure, Forbidden Graveyard, Kaiser Colosseum to an extent are really good, particularly Dimensional Fissure and Forbidden Graveyard. MST is okay as well to hit those skill drains, which they will probably side against you. Soul Drain is also okay against them. Shared Ride is kind of okay against Dark World because they like to just go off and just search a whole bunch with their deck. So Shared Ride is okay as well. Curse Seal of Forbidden Spells okay as well. You can hit their Gates of the Dark World and your field spell's going to be safe. If they want to get rid of it, they're going to trigger its effect and you'll most likely be able to summon out a Kaiku. Debunk is okay as well. Shadow Prisoner Mirror also good. Mind Crush is so-so. If they search Gate of the Dark Worlds, or Gates of the Dark World, or Dark World Dealings, then you could quickly Mind Crush that out of their hand. So Mind Crush is okay, but I wouldn't recommend siding it. It's only okay if you're already maining it in that Kaiku and Breaker build, which I touched upon earlier. Soul Drain also very good against Dark World and the Transmigration Prophecy. I'm kind of not really going to sort of repeat the cards which I've already sort of explained why you would side it in. Like Soul Drain, obviously you side in against the effects that activate when they're sent to the graveyard, or effects that activate when they're banished. Harpies Hunting Ground I've got here because of Harpies. Harpies is kind of a difficult deck to face with Spellbook. I've been playing match on DN, and for a deck which I've consistently lost against is Harpies. I've lost 2-0 to Harpies twice because Harpies are just really annoying. I wasn't actually siding so many MSTs, and I did draw my MSTs against them, but they're siding DNA Surgery and a lot of really annoying cards, and they've got Harpies Hunting Ground to place over your field spell, and it becomes really problematic, especially with Hysteric Sign being able to search this card out. But to side against Harpies, Veiler and Maxi, very excellent choices. Breaker is okay as well to pop those back rows which are going to side against you. Book of Eclipse is kind of okay when they go for Hysteric Party, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Dimensional Fissure, again, kind of okay because it stops Hysteric Party, but I wouldn't go for it. Forbidden Graveyard is okay to stop Hysteric Sign, but I wouldn't opt for it. Kaiser Colosseum, also very good. For example, if you're playing against a Harpy player, you have just a Magician on the field, they can't really go for a really big push with Hysteric Party, or Summoner Monk, or especially Summoner Monk because it changes itself to defense mode, so they can't really do anything there, and Channeler, so Kaiser Colosseum is a decent side against them. Soul Release is kind of okay to stop Hysteric Party, but apart from that, you have the Transmigration Prophecy again to stop Hysteric Party. DNA Surgery is a useful side against them because they're probably going to side DNA Surgery against you. So I need to tell you guys a quick rule when it comes to DNA Surgery. So if you're a Spellbook player and you're faced against a Harpy player, and that Harpy player flips DNA Surgery first and it resolves, and you know he's probably going to say Ring Beast because that's the best type for him to choose, and it's your turn and you flip DNA Surgery and you choose Spellcaster, what will happen is that the DNA Surgery which is last to resolve, in this case the Spellbook players, will take it will be more dominated than the one which was activated before. So basically all of the monsters on the field will be treated as Spellcaster in that instance. So you can side DNA Surgery to counter DNA Surgery, as well as to screw up decks like Firefest. So DNA Surgery is worth a talk or a mention as well. Also against Harpies, you can side Mind Crush when they search off of Hysteric Sign, but they pretty much go +3 or +2 off of Hysteric Sign. So using a Mind Crush might not be too effective against them, especially if they add Queen and Hunting Ground, because they're expecting a Mind Crush. It can be really annoying. And that's pretty much it for Harpies, I would say. Dust Tornado is also a decent side, I'll just quickly mention. So Evilswarm, I'm probably going to cut the video halfway through because this is getting kind of long. But Evilswarm is the next one. I'll probably cut after I get to Geargia. So Evilswarm, cards to side against Evilswarm, or actually I'll start with cards which aren't too good against them. You've got High Priestess and World. Obviously high level monsters not too good against them, whilst you have cards like Breaker. I believe Joining Network is nagging. During the middle of the video, I may as well take a sip of water. Okay, I'll probably cut the video here since Dual Network has crashed. Sorry about this. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I timed out due to inactivity. But continuing on from where we left off, I was about to talk about Evilswarm. So High Priestess and Worlds aren't really too good against Evilswarm. Whilst they have Ophel on the field, particularly High Priestess, World is sort of okay because if you do go for World, they have got Ophel on the field, and you can sort of nuke their back row, and Evilswarm love to play like 3 to 4 back row like at any given time. But cards which are pretty good against them are Breaker. Breaker is extremely good against Evilswarm. You can summon it, pop a back row, use power, spring over an Ophion, search, and you can also couple off with Wisdom. If you've got Breaker, Power, and Wisdom, it's generally a good hand to go in second against Evilswarm. Even if they set like multiple, unless they've got like a safe zone or something, it's a hand which you'll fairly happy to see. Just summon Breaker. They want a Bottomless, chain Wisdom, put the counter on, use power, take the counter off, pop something, swing over Ophion, pretty good stuff. Also, Effect Veiler's Sword okay against Rabbit, and it can stop Ophion from searching, but I wouldn't recommend it. Maxie's not really too good. Cards which are particularly good against Evilswarm, I have to go to this card. It's just ridiculously good against them. Rivalry of the Warlords, excellent cards against Evilswarm. Look to side 2 to 3 in my opinion. It's really excellent. Minecraft can also be kind of good against Evilswarm. If you're going first and they go for Ophion and they add the spell card Pandemic, you can Minecraft Pandemic, and sometimes they'll have multiple ones in their hand because they might already have the trap. So I believe the trap stays Infestation, so they could already have Infestation or Infection. Sorry, I keep forgetting. They could already have it, and they might search a second copy of Pandemic, so you could go +1 there. But against Evilswarm, there's not really too much to side. Shadow Prisoner Mirror is an option as well, but particularly Rivalry of the Warlords is excellent against them. I definitely recommend siding it. Geargia. Geargia is kind of an annoying deck to play against because of how easily it can OTK, and once it gets its combo pieces to hand. Cards which are really good against them. Let's see, Book of Eclipse is okay. They do get to draw, but you will stop them from going off. You can respond with a Dark Hole as well. It's really good. Dimensional Fissure is kind of okay, but I wouldn't recommend it too much. Kaiser Coliseum is excellent against them. MST is also good because they're going to be playing a lot of back row, and you can expect to see some stuff like DNA Surgery, so definitely look to side MST. System Down, obviously the MVP of what to side against them. System Down's amazing against them. It's too bad it's not a quick play, but I mean, it would be probably a bit too good if it was a quick play. Apart from that, there's not really too much to side against them. You can use DNA Surgery to stop them from being machined, but they'll probably be expected to be sided MSTs against that. So another deck which I want to talk about. So I believe this is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm counting just so I remember to cut the video because it can get a bit too long. So this is the last one which I'm going to discuss in this video, and I'll make a part 2 for the rest of the decks. So Necro Valley, Gravekeepers obviously. Shadow Prisoner Mirror is very good against them. Soul Drain can stop Recruiters, and Recruiter is really annoying, especially when they summon Recruiter and they go 1-1, they go +1. Transmigration Prophecy is okay as well when they use Gravekeepers still. Actually it's not, sorry, because if they have Necro Valley on the field, you won't be able to actually put those back, so I take that back. Dark Hole is okay against them. Kaiku's also kind of okay. Necro Valley kind of stops them from doing anything silly, so Kaiku's sort of left kind of redundant, but it's still a decent beater against them. Definitely not if you've got Shadow Prisoner Mirror on the field, but Kaiku's still overall a decent card. High Priestess is excellent against them. Dropping the High Priestess and just popping Necro Valley, popping their back row off is pretty good, and you can chain a Wisdom, Protector, and all that good stuff. Breaker's also really good for the same reason it's good in the Evilswarm matchup. Power, Breaker, Wisdom, very good cards to open up with. Veiler's okay. You can Veiler Descendant, Spy, and all of that stuff. and I will definitely side MST because they're going to be paying that one card, that trap card. where if they have a Gravekeeper and Negro Valley, you're not going to be able to do shit. So definitely side MST. Mind Crush is also okay when they use Commandant to search Negro Valley. You can Mind Crush it, and that's pretty much what I'm seeing here. And obviously Dust Tornado, you can side that for the same reasons you would side Missile Space Typhoon. So I'm going to cut the video here, guys. Sorry about the disconnecting earlier. I apologise for that. And look forward to part 2, which I'll upload shortly after I upload this video.